tarot reading for today, July 2016, for the month of July, not just for today. And of course I'll be focusing on love and relationships. So give me just a few more seconds here. Okay, your first card is an Ace of Cups reversed. Strange, this showed up, I believe, for Cancer. This is a Nine of Pentacles. And I have the Lovers. This is a Knight of Swords. I have Justice in reverse. I have a Seven of Swords. Okay, so note how the energy changed here into Swords. Even Justice, which is reverse, has a sword. Heading into the future, we have Eight of Wands. I have Five of Swords. And then I have a Knight of Wands. Okay. Very interesting. First off, let me point out, you do have some wands here. You do have Eight of Wands. And you also have a Knight of Wands. And just take note that the Knight of Wands is associated with Sagittarius, but it still brings some fire energy here. Another thing, in addition to these swords that are going to be showing up, the energy of these swords, which might be an issue for you as you head into July, you also have this cup that is reversed, and this is the only cup you have. This is an Ace of Cups, and usually this Ace of Cups, it's associated with falling in love. Aces always represent high energy and new beginnings. Usually aces, whether it's an Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, aces are about beginnings and a surge of energy, because you're changing into a new cycle. You're changing into not just a new beginning, but new opportunities. And so the Ace of Cups is usually associated with falling in love. Sometimes in relationship readings it can mean a makeup, breakup, and in some instances it can even be associated with pregnancy. But just know, like with all the cups, which represent water, there's emotional fulfillment, there's spirituality, there's imagination, creativity, intuitiveness. But yes, in a relationship reading, this is about emotional happiness, an ecstasy, a joy. So when this is in reverse, it's pretty interesting to me to see this with the Lovers card. Now, if the Ace of Cups had not been reversed with this Lovers card in the same row, then I would have thought this might be a very, very steamy romance, so to speak. It might even be love at first sight. That's what I would think if the Ace of Cups had not been reversed. But I still feel this sense of attraction, because then we come here to this Nine of Pentacles. And this Nine of Pentacles, it's the party card, so to speak. It's about the good life. And 9 is a very high number. It's next to 10. So usually when you get the number 9, it means that you're coming to a close, that you know, this is a high time for you, and then things are going to start moving to the Ace again. So it's interesting to me, because I kind of feel that for some of you Leos, things might be very casual. Pentacles in romantic readings for me, pentacles sort of indicate things slowing down, things just being physical. Um, you know, like I said, a party, enjoying the good life, the material things, the money. Um, and so when I look at that Nine of Pentacles, it is the card of prosperity and happiness, but it is a very material, physical card. It doesn't necessarily deal with love, so to speak. It just means that you're caught up emotionally and just the, dating and having a good time and maybe sleeping together and things like that. And after that, yes, we have the Lover's card. And as I've said many times in other readings about the Lovers, this is not necessarily a marriage or commitment. The Lovers is very strongly rooted in sexual energy, romantic energy. And romance is not necessarily a stable energy, because when you're romance, traditionally, the eros, the Greek saying eros, that romantic love, being caught up in the sexual attraction, it doesn't last very long. If the Lovers was paired with the Ten of Cups, so to speak, or even the Two of Cups, then there might be a stronger undercurrent of that soulmate connection. But I kind of feel with these first three cards that there's a lot of seeing each other, going out, the physical sexual connection, but there's not a lot of emotional connection. So that's how I'm interpreting this Ace of Cups. Then when we get here, the card in the center, and this is your only, it's with the Lovers, this is the only major arcana card you have. Your Justice card is reversed. All of a sudden we get these swords, okay? And that's a big heads up, because you have a Knight of Swords, and I think I said in last month's reading, usually when I get these court cards, Knight of Swords is usually, I've known the Knight of Swords to represent a player, someone who's very good with words and very persuasive and a charmer. Sometimes this represents Libras. And so when I see that Knight of Swords with the Seven of Swords, I'm like, whoa, be very cautious, because you might be getting played. You might be, someone might be keeping secrets from you. Someone might, and sometimes it can mean lying, dishonesty. In some cases it does mean secrets. And in the context of this Justice card being reversed, this sword, whenever you have a sword, just one sword in your hand, just like the Ace of Swords or the Knight of Swords, yes, we're talking about truth and justice and making a decision, in making a judgment. I see this Justice card reversed between the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Swords, meaning that you could potentially get hurt here. Someone is keeping something from you, and they're not being forthright with you. They're not telling you everything. And so, yeah, I'm paying very close attention to how these swords are showing up. You even have a Five of Swords here in your future. And I'm like, there's something that, there's an issue in the relationship that's definitely going to come up, that's going to attack trust. It might even attack or hurt your trust in someone. And so I feel like the Oracle might be giving you a heads up, Leos. Don't let someone pull the wool over your eyes. Don't hand over your trust 100%. Because you do have that Ace of Cups reversed. Things are not always what they seem. Someone could be emotionally manipulating you. Okay? So when we get here to the future influences, that's when your Wand's energy, the fire, starts coming in. But when I look at that Five of Swords, and I'm like, okay, the swords are definitely trying to tell us something here. Five of Swords is usually the card of defeat. getting your ego bruised, being rejected. But it's also, the Five of Swords is also about picking yourself up and being able to move on. But considering all the Seven of Swords, which is about secrets, and the Justice card being reversed, the context of this Five of Swords starts to sort of come into focus for me a little bit, because I'm thinking someone could really, really hurt you, and you might not even see it coming. Of course, you'll see it coming now because I just outlined this. I just, put it out there. But this Eight of Wands with the Knight of Wands, let's talk about that. This Eight of Wands, they're called the arrows of love. But as I said, with this Ace of Cups reversed, and then you have this Lover's energy, I'm not so much thinking about love as much as this passion and desire. Usually this is a card that indicates traveling long distance. It can also mean receiving a surprise message. Maybe you've been waiting, and all of a sudden this surprise happens quickly out of the blue. But I'm seeing this as maybe you going to meet someone, to travel to see someone, or someone traveling to see you. I'm getting this surprise communication. You didn't expect to hear from someone, or maybe you have this opportunity to meet with your love interest, to be with them. I'm thinking more of this sense of long distance communication, and just being in talking with someone that you've been distanced from. And then this follows by the Five of Swords, which, as I said, I kind of feel that in the context of the other swords, you need to be careful here, because you could be in for a bit of disappointment and a bit of hurt. So when I see this Knight of Wands here, the Knight of Wands, as you know, knights are action. Knights bring change, especially when it's fire. And I feel as if you might need to have a confrontation, especially a confrontation after this Five of Swords. You are in the dark with this person with Seven of Swords, and I feel that the Five of Swords is, the number 5, of course, is about conflict and struggle. So it's not even that about being hurt or someone intentionally lying to you. I feel that with this Eight of Wands, you're going to have a lot of some of you might have expectations. You can't wait to see each other. And then you have that Five of Swords, maybe embarrassment, a little bit of rejection. And then you do have that Knight of Wands who brings this change, this swift transformation. Sometimes, in a way, it can bring a new adventure. It means that you're starting a new chapter in your life. You're taking risks. You're doing something that you've never done before. So when I look at these 3 cards, I'm looking at this like, I feel like, this Five of Swords is sort of tampering or throwing water on all of the excitement and passion of this Eight of Wands. But in a way, this Knight of Wands, it feels like it's propelling you to change. It's propelling you to deal and confront this situation once and for all. What are your intentions? Having a discussion with your love interest or partner, saying, where do we stand? And it can also mean, and taking this out of the context of lying and cheating, it could mean that there's someone you're attached to who's not as emotionally committed. They're holding their cards close to the vest. They're not coming out to you emotionally. And in a way, your energy is trying to counter that and change that and confront it. So let me go ahead and pull an outcome card and see how all this turns out. you have an Ace of Pentacles. Aces, as I said, bring high energy. They also bring new beginnings. And for some of you, it could mean that this person with all the swords energy who's bringing mistrust and deception, or whoever's hiding emotionally, it feels like maybe some of you are like, I'm moving on, I'm done with this. But I feel like it makes sense to have this Knight of Wands here, because as I said, they bring change and transformation and new beginnings. And then of course you go straight to Ace of Pentacles. And remember, Ace of Pentacles, in my interpretation of love and relationships, Ace of Pentacles can mean starting over, meeting new people. It's definitely moving on. And this is definitely in contrast here to that Ace of Cups. So I would say to you, Leos, because this will play out in different ways for many of you, but whatever the case may be, if someone in your life is emotionally stuck and you've been with them for a while and they've refused to open up emotionally, they've refused to really commit to the relationship and take it to the next level, as we see here with that Ace of Cups reverse, it feels as if the Oracle is saying, you know, stop dealing with all this drama with the swords and just change it around. You have other options. Okay. So, having said that, that is your reading. And as always, I want to thank everyone for your concern. Sometimes my health goes up and down. I've been feeling better more late. I've been feeling better 90% of the time. And then you have those 10% to where you're just really under the weather. And so yeah, I just kind of pulled out of another, you know, cold, low energy, very, very sick, unable to talk, things like that. But I'm feeling much better now. So I want to thank everyone for your patience and your concern. And also, if you watch the beginning of the video, one, I have a special for my video readings, which you've just seen here. And instead of $20, it'll be $15 for the entire summer, all the way to the end of September. So take advantage of that, especially if you've never gotten a reading from me before. The second thing is I want to encourage everyone to think about becoming a sponsor for $1 a month. I've already gotten some lovely people who are sponsors for $5 a month, which is wonderful. But I would just like to just sort of ramp up my tarot readings and the things I do. Previously, it was just a hobby for me and something that I just like to do for spare change. But I would really like to devote myself to really doing this in a more professional capacity. But for my Patron sponsors, I intend on having super chats. Those who sponsor me, they get my monthly videos a week early. They also get free readings, and I will also be committing to my tarot school. Some of you have asked about classes, and it's been stop-start because I tried to make videos on YouTube for money subscribers, you know, who are willing to pay for the videos. And then people internationally said, well, we can't pay, we can't see the videos. So if you are a sponsor, I will be putting up videos for tarot instruction and lots of other fun stuff as well. So thank you so much for your support. I hope your summer is going well. This is your time, Leo. And of course, I'll see you next month. As always, I wish you love and light, peace and joy, and please take care of yourself.